Yeah, good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
Anderlecht have picked up a great form, especially in the Europa League, having won all 3 matches so far and being alongside Lazio and Tottenham to do so. What has been the main reason for this form on the continental stage?
I'm sorry for the last sentence, please.
Yeah, what has been the main reason for this form on the continental stage?
I think is that all players involved are really important for us. It's a really busy schedule, and for us the strength of the group, the mentality of all players is that they all feel involved in all competitions. So that means we try to be as competitive as possible in the domestic league, in the cup, and in the Europa League, and of course it means that whoever plays is really aware of what we ask as a team, what the tasks are from each individual, and what the ambitions are from the whole collective, and that's to be as competitive as possible on all the fronts we are playing at. And of course the Europa League is a fantastic platform to show us. So that's for me the main reason why we are successful in this competition as well.
Gil, try to ask on the microphone side.
Okay. Yeah. Coach, I have a question about RFS and about because RFS is also a team from Eastern Europe, and do you think RFS will be a more difficult opponent than Dynamo Minsk because in this season Anderlecht played against Dynamo and won both matches?
I think we respect everything we are facing. We struggled to be honest against Dynamo Minsk, and of course we expect also to have quite a difficult game tomorrow. We try to prepare the players as good as possible by analyzing every opponent in the best way possible, and that doesn't have any impact that it's RFS or it's Sociedad or it's Ludogorets or whatever. We are respecting every opponent we are facing. We are going into those games with the same idea, with the same professionalism as we do for every game. And yes, we have seen some strength of RFS and what they can be dangerous at, but also where they are vulnerable at, and that's what we are also going to try to exploit tomorrow.
And the second question, while you analyzed the RFS team, maybe did you watch the games RFS against Kent in Europa Conference League qualifiers in 2021-2022 season, maybe?
To be really honest, no. I watched to the last games, to the competition games, to the Europa League games they played, because of course every team changes, and a game from 2-3 years ago is far away. So no, we are concentrated about the players who are there actually, and the form they are and the way they play for the moment, and that's how we're going to prepare our team to face them.
But maybe you remember these games, Gent against RFS, because in this both games Gent had a problems maybe. It was a good material for you to analyze also.
Yes, it's always good to see, but we have a limited amount of time to analyze, and we, like I said, we have enough games from the last weeks to prepare on.
Question on the right.
Matīs Timofejovs, Latvian TV. You mentioned it before about your form, great form in the Europa League, but how can you describe where's the difference? Because in Belgian League, you're struggling a little bit. 5 wins, 5 draws, some losses, but in the Europa League, you're perfect.
It's difficult to have the spot-on response on this. We have a lot of games, and that's the truth, and we try to prepare every game in the best way possible. We had a few less, for me, performances, especially the one before the last. But after that difficult week, I think we responded quite well by winning in the cup last week, and last weekend having a good result and good performance in our last domestic league game. So that's for me the most important. When you have that amount of games, you will always have games where, let's say, you can have a bad game. But for me, the most important is then how we react to it. And yeah, let's say the team showed the response that I was waiting for.
In early 80s, Anderlecht won UEFA Cup. Right now it's UEFA Europa League. Right now 3 wins in 3 games. What's your ambition in this year's Europa League?
To win it. I think that's for everybody who is involved in any competition. It's to be and to reach the highest possible rank, and that's winning it, of course. But we are realistic. We are also only 3 games away. We are focused only on the next one, and the next one is tomorrow against RFS, and it's our job to try to maintain the maximum points possible. But again, I expect a difficult game, so we have to be prepared and not to think too much forward. It's about the game of tomorrow, and that's where all my attention will go to.
Let's pass the mic to Killian.
David, je zei net dat het voor de spelers een mooie kans is om zich te tonen op het Europese toneel. Merk je dat ook in de groep, dat er sommige spelers misschien ook gretiger zijn om te spelen in de Europa League dan in de competitie, of merk je daar geen verschil?
Laat ons zeggen dat ze allemaal even gretig waren om vorige week donderdag te spelen tegen Tubize. Ze willen gewoon allemaal al spelen en er is een gezond gevoel van competitie, van concurrentie binnen de groep, en dat is absoluut noodzakelijk. Zeker als je zoveel wedstrijden speelt, is het een noodzaak om een concurrentiegevoel te hebben. En voilà, het is aan mij om die keuzes dan te gaan maken wie wanneer speelt. Maar mijn keuze gaat altijd gebaseerd worden op bepaalde criteria. Zijn de huidige vorm, zijn de komende wedstrijden, zijn de tegenstrever. En op basis daarvan proberen we telkens de meest competitieve ploeg binnen de lijnen te zetten.
So maybe to briefly summarize what the coach has said. So the question was if players are sometimes more eager to play the Europa League. The response was that everyone wants to play, that there's a healthy competition in the squad, that we have a lot of games, so it's the choices that the coaches have to make sure who's on good current form, who the opponent is, and that there's just a very healthy competition within the squad.
Antwoord ik ook niet, denk ik.
Dat is iets gemakkelijker.
Okay.
David, is dat een mogelijkheid bij Robert dat Lafarge gaat spelen? Of niet?
It's a possibility. He's part of the squad, as well as Ali Mamar, who is part of the squad. So it's possible that both of them could play tomorrow. Let's see.
David, hoe was het om die eerste week met Olivier na te werken? Hoe gaat dat in zijn werk? Praten jullie veel over, overleggen jullie veel? Is hij ook veel bij de spelersgroep betrokken?
Yeah, of course, for him it's also a new week, and he's arriving in a schedule again where we have facing a lot of games. So we try to make some room to talk to each other, to take the time to get to know each other. For him, it's also a whole club that he needs to get to know. So of course he has his hands full, so to say. He's a lot in the club, in and around the club, speaking a lot to people in and around the team. But of course we have also the main task, and is to perform every 3 to 4 days. And of course we have to make room for that as well, and to prepare the best way possible. And we hope that from next week on, where we'll have a little bit of more time with the international break to speak a little bit more in detail to the things and the way of working of Olivier, and that he knows also the way we work. So we will have more time, let's say, from next week on.
En een andere vraag, Killian die naast je zit in de voorselectie van de Rode Duivels. Ga je ervan uit dat hij erbij is? Verdient hij dat ook om erbij te zijn in jou?
When I see his qualities, his form, the way he's performing, of course I think as a coach, and I see him every day in training, I see him in games, I see the value that he can have for the national team. I think he deserves first this call-up and this pre-selection, and I hope and I think he deserves as well to be involved in the definitive selection. So we're hoping for that, but we know also how hard he works for it. And for me, it's also a sign that he's on a good path, that he has to continue the way he's doing right now, and it's really important that he keeps on performing, keeps on getting better every day, every game. So it's a sign of appreciation about his performances lately. So I can only be happy for him that he get this reward.
Last question for David.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, about your opponents, RFS, they lifted the Latvian Cup and were crowned as Latvian champions last week, meaning that their morale is definitely high going into this game. How do you plan to counter that, and what are your overall thoughts about your opponents?
Of course, they are full of confidence, and I hope they enjoyed and celebrated the championship quite well the last weekend. So they may be a little bit tired tomorrow, but no, we expect them to be full of confidence and at full strength in the game. When we analyze them, and of course we know some players. You have Ondoa in the goal, who played in Belgium for 2 years, I think. They have the Lipucek, central defender, quite big, good left foot. They have good strikers with a lot of pace, some goal scorer there in the front. So they have some really good qualities, especially also in transitions. They are quite good. So it's up to us to be really careful for those moments, to be really professional in the way we go into that game, really concentrated, so that we don't give too many opportunities like this away to them.
Last question for you.
Tot nu toe in Europa perfect rapport. Hoe belangrijk is het om dat voor u in stand te houden? Want ik denk dat je een goede student waart, dus ik denk dat het hoogste dat je wil bereiken, dat je ook wil winnen hier natuurlijk, snap je?
Absoluut, en als je de percentages bekijkt, als je het over wiskunde hebt, is het natuurlijk een must. Als je hier morgen kan winnen, heb je 12 op 12 en verhoog je alleen maar je kansen om langer door te gaan in Europa. En dat is ons doel. Wij willen zo ver mogelijk geraken. We zullen zien wat dat gaat zijn. Maar dat gaat weer door niet te ver vooruit te kijken en ook niet achteruit. We hebben nu 9 op 9, maar die wedstrijden zijn voorbij. Het is aan ons om... It's up to us to be concentrated and focused about the next game, because the next game is always the most important, and it's a cliché, but that's about football. What you did last weekend is already forgotten, and we are already looking forward to the next one. And we have a fantastic platform with this Europa League, a good opponent tomorrow. So let's make a really good performance out of it and try to get the maximum out of it, and that's 3 points.
Okay, thank you. You're excused first. Yves.
Félicitations pour la présélection. Tu étais surpris ou tu t'y attendais un petit peu vu tes prestations de ces dernières semaines?
I was a little bit surprised, first of all, but I think Non, je pense que tout d'abord j'étais un peu surpris, mais je pense que, comme tu l'as dit, avec les performances que je suis en train de faire, je pense que c'est surtout sur l'année passée, aussi sur ce début de saison. Je pense que c'est quand même mérité. Après maintenant, à voir la sélection de vendredi, mais si j'y suis, je serais vraiment content.
Est-ce que tu étais même un petit peu déçu les fois précédentes, où tu voyais qu'il y avait d'autres noms qui étaient sélectionnés, mais pas toi?
La déception, c'est sûr, mais d'un autre côté aussi, je comprends un peu le sélectionneur. Voilà, il doit faire des choix. Il devait tester certaines choses. Après, d'un autre côté, j'avais aussi quand même cette chance de jouer en U21 et quand même de montrer ce que je valais. Et surtout sur la fin, j'étais capitaine, donc ça a été aussi une grosse fierté pour moi.
To summarize, the questions were about his pre-selection for the Belgian national team. So not the definite selection yet. It's obviously it was a bit of a surprise, but he's very happy with his performances lately, both last year and this season. So it's actually it would be a deserved call-up. Maybe he was a bit disappointed with the last periods that he wasn't called up yet for the national team, but he also understands the choices of the coach and that he wanted to try out some different things. And he had also been captain of the under-23 team at the Belgian national team, which was also a big pride and honor to represent.
Hello, Killian. Welcome to Riga. How are you feeling going into this match, and do you see this match as a must-win situation for the team?
Je pense que c'est un match super important parce que tu joues contre Real Sociedad ou ici à Riga, ça reste 3 points. Donc on est full focus sur le match. Je pense aussi on est sur une bonne pente parce qu'on fait 2 très bons résultats. Et je pense que si on se concentre sur nous, sur nos qualités, je pense qu'on peut faire un bon résultat ici.
He does think it's a very important game. Against Sociedad, against Ludogorets, or here, 3 points or 3 points, so that's the most important thing for now. And luckily we've had 2 very good games in the league and in the cup so far, so that gives a boost of confidence also.
And the second question, are there any players on the opposing team, on RFS, you are particularly focused on?
Pour être honnête, non. Moi, personnellement, je connais pas vraiment l'équipe, mais voilà, on va analyser l'équipe. Nous, on regarde surtout le collectif. Je pense que c'est le plus important. On va analyser les points forts, les points faibles, et puis on va exploiter ça.
He says he's not really focusing on one player in particular, that it's mostly the collective team that we are analyzing and to see what the weaknesses and the strengths are of this team to exploit those weaknesses in our favor.
Apparemment, le Cameroun fait aussi que tu joues pour eux. Tu as déjà parlé avec Marc Bresse, et qu'est-ce que tu penses de ça? Est-ce que tu préfères la Belgique, le Cameroun?
Moi, j'ai pas eu un contact direct avec le sélectionneur, mais voilà, je sais que mon entourage, mon agent en particulier, a été en contact avec eux. Ça reste quand même une grosse fierté, ça reste quand même une grosse nation du football, surtout une grosse nation de football africain, qui joue la CAN chaque année, qui joue la Coupe du Monde chaque année, et c'est aussi le pays de ma mère, donc forcément que ça laisse quand même à réfléchir, mais moi j'ai grandi ici en Belgique, j'ai fait toutes mes catégories de jeunes en Belgique, et mon rêve ça a toujours été de jouer pour la Belgique.
The question was about that he had also maybe had contact with Cameroon. He said that he did not have direct contact with the head coach of the Cameroon national team, but that was more his entourage and his agent that had contact with them. It's also a great football country. They play the World Cup almost every edition, so it would also be a pride and honor, also because it's the country that was mothered, but that he focuses on Belgium and that the choice will likely be more in favor of the Belgian national team.
C'est aussi la rêve de ta maman ou
Bien sûr, c'est aussi le rêve de ma maman pour que je joue pour la Belgique, mais aussi pour le Cameroun. Elle veut juste le meilleur pour moi et elle n'a pas de préférence, elle veut juste le meilleur pour moi.
When in your team, a lot of players are injured. Younger Tongen, Organizar, then on Ketu, how it has changed the team and how you are coping with it.
C'est sûr que ce sont des joueurs clés avec énormément d'expérience, une expérience internationale aussi. Mais je pense qu'on a un groupe avec énormément de qualité. On l'a déjà montré cette année que voilà, le coach fait confiance à tout le monde. Donc que ça soit l'un ou l'autre qui joue, je ne vais pas dire que ça ne change rien, mais chacun apporte ce qu'il peut apporter. Et je pense que c'est une force qu'on a cette année.
So yes, there are some key players injured with the names that you mentioned, who also have a lot of experience, that for sure. But there's a very good group at Anderlecht now, and with a lot of qualities, and you can also see that the coach is making conscious decisions with all the games that we are playing. So he's quite convinced of the qualities of the team, so it hasn't played in our disadvantage too much so far.
Anderlecht fans get a ban from UEFA. Is it harder for you to play in some other countries when your fans are not in stadium?
Bah, c'est sûr que c'est moins, comment dire, pour que ça soit pour nous ou pour les fans, c'est un peu dommage parce que c'est aussi, on fait ça aussi pour eux. Je pense que ça fait longtemps qu'ils attendent cette Coupe d'Europe et le fait qu'ils soient pas là ici, c'est dommage, on va dire, pour les deux parties. Mais voilà, je pense que l'UEFA a quand même pris une bonne décision parce que moi personnellement, je tolère pas ce qu'ils ont fait à la Sociedad. C'est comme ça, mais je sais qu'ils nous soutiennent de là où ils sont, de la Belgique ou d'ailleurs. Donc on va quand même tout donner pour eux dans ce match.
He replied that for sure it's a pity to not have the fans because obviously the team does it for them also, and they've been waiting also to get back to the Europa League to experience this game. So for sure it's a pity that they're not there. On the other hand, he does condone what happened at Sociedad with the fans, so he can also understand the decision of UEFA. And they will just have to try and win the game for the fans, even if they're not in the stadium.
Mag ik nog een vraag stellen?
Zeker.
Maybe to the coach as well. Do you hope that there will be some fans without purple colors, but that there will be some fans to support Anderlecht?
With a purple heart, you mean?
Yeah.
I hope there are many in Belgium, many anywhere, like Killian said, all around the world that are supporting us, and we'll see. I will be the biggest fan of them, and I will try to support them as much as possible to compensate, let's say, the absence of our fans.